Hi everyone! Welcome to 26 weeks of journaling prompts for self-growth nerds. My name is Marie, and every Saturday morning I'm gonna drop a video here with a journaling prompt for you to reflect on. Today is week 2. This week we keep going with the letter B. Not too sure how to make a B with my hands. We're gonna talk about feeling behind in life. A few years ago, I was sitting in a baby shower listening to everybody talk. They were telling me about the first house that they just bought. One couple had built a lake house and they were gonna rent it. The people that were hosting the baby shower were gonna have their first kid. Some of them already had 2 kids. I started feeling really bad about myself. I just wanted to run home and hide underneath the covers. What was going on was a shame attack because somehow I was making my lack of property and kids mean I was less valuable of a human being. Did I even want a house and kids? That's beside the point. The point is I was seeing this timeline dictated by society. I had internalized the messaging that by 32 years old, this is where you should be on the timeline, and therefore, if you're only here, something is wrong with you. I'm sure you have felt the same. If it's not about houses and babies, maybe it's in your career. You think you should be at a certain level in your job or maybe earn a certain salary. And the fact that you don't makes you feel less than. Part of us believes that we would feel better about ourselves if we had that position, if we had that salary, if we had the house and the kids. But is it really true? We have to ask ourselves, what do I actually want deep down in my core? And see the difference between what's true to you and what you have been taught you should want. Let me give you an example. A few years ago, I went to thru hike the Pacific Crest Trail. That cost me a lot of money. And then when I got back, I decided to change careers. I used to be a graphic designer, now I'm a life coach. That cost a lot of money as well to get trained and certified. All of that money could have been used to save for a cash down. I could have a house right now. Do I have any regrets though? No, I don't. I made decisions based on what matters most to me instead of what I have been told should matter by society. Now, if you tell me, actually, Marie, you know what? I do want to be further along, let's say in terms of salary. I do want to be making more money right now in my life. Great. But judging yourself for not being where you want to be yet is what's going to slow you down. Just imagine a kid coming back from school and telling their parent that they got a C on the exam. Just hoping that their parent is going to give them a hug, but the parent goes, "Really? You didn't get an A? You really have to make more of an effort next time." How do you think the kid is going to feel? They're going to go back to school the next day feeling probably pretty anxious, trying really hard to do better so that they can get approval from their parent. It might work. They might push themselves really hard, but they're not going to have a good time along the way. Versus the same kid comes back from school, tells their parent they got a C on the test, and their parent says, "Come here, let me give you a hug. I understand that you wanted to do better, but that's okay. I love you anyway. Let's figure out what we can do to support you so that you can do better next time." The kid's gonna go back to school the next day feeling a lot more peaceful. And yes, they might do better on the test, but it's gonna come from a place of being filled up with love, feeling the trust of their parent, and having more tools. It's the same thing with you. If you judge yourself for not being as good as you want to be, if you beat yourself up constantly, you're going to need a break from yourself. You're going to want to numb with eating a lot of food, watching a lot of Netflix, scrolling your phone for hours, just so that you can escape the mean boss inside your brain. What's demoralizing is not where you are on the timeline, but the story you tell yourself about where you should be. Instead of giving yourself conditional love, which means I'm only going to be kind to myself when I reach those milestones, when I make this amount of money, when I have a kid, when I have a house, when I am seen as successful by society's standards, how can you give yourself unconditional love? Meaning, how can you be kind to yourself now, accept where you are in life now? This is going to help you move forward in the direction that's true to you so much more than anything else. So this leads me to today's 3 questions to reflect on. Are you ready? The first one is, in what areas of your life do you feel behind? The second one, what's the story you tell yourself? What's the timeline that you're subscribing to? Where do you think you should be on that timeline? And what do you make it mean that you're not there yet? And the third question, who would you be without that story? What would you do? What would you pursue if you didn't believe any of that bullshit? Excuse my French. So this is it for this week. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe if you want to be notified every Saturday when this video comes out, okay? I will see you next Saturday and have a wonderful week. Bye.